All right, so today we're going to be stringing the sunflower. You have 3 colors for your sunflower. All you have to do is make sure black is last. So you can do brown or yellow first. Today I'm just gonna go ahead and start with the brown, and we're going to do the center and show you the steps. So very first, we're gonna tie a knot. I like to tie it in the air like this and get your little lasso. And you can choose any nail in the circle and just put your little loop over and tighten it. And you're gonna do the same thing on the same nail for another knot so that you have a double knot. And if this is super long, you can kind of trim it if you want to. You don't have to. That's my preference. So that is step 1, is tying a knot. And then from there, I'm gonna go ahead and show you the border steps. And this is actually all the things you're gonna do for the black string, but it's a little easier to show you when there's nothing else on here. What you're gonna do is hold the string kind of tight so it doesn't unravel, and just wrap around the nails. And for this, because it's a circle, for some of them, you can actually cheat a little bit and do a huge chunk of them at once and wrap, or you can do them all individually, whatever you want. The other hand, I'm left-handed, so my right hand is the helper. It's gonna go ahead and hold on to the string behind me a little bit, just in case. So still holding it tight, you've gone around once. Now we're gonna do 2, it's crisscross, going back and forth, back and forth. So this is step 2 of 4. So we did 1, and then 2 is crisscross. So you're gonna have a diagonal line in between each of them. You're just gonna go back and forth, back and forth. The reason we do this for our border is it helps make it a super solid, thick line and just makes it pop. For this one, the brown and the yellow, it doesn't matter so much because the black will be on top, but just to show you. So that was step 2. Now for 3, you're gonna do the same thing crisscrossing, but it's gonna be the opposite direction. And if you keep going in a circle, it should just do it on its own, just like that. And now it'll look like an X in between each of the nails once you get twice around. So this is step 3. Crisscross, you can switch hands if you want, whatever feels comfortable. And see, there's just the outline border steps. This is our 3rd pass. Okay, and now, just like the first step where we went on the outside, the 4th one is going on the inside. Wrapping around and around. And this one, because the curve is going the opposite way, you can't really do that cheating thing. That's just the other angle. Okay, and so this is exactly what you're going to be doing with the black string, but for this and for every single petal outline. So if this was helpful, then you can skip it when you get to the black string tutorial. You will already know how to do it. All right, so then from here, the rest is easy, and you can actually fill it in whatever direction you want. It doesn't have to be back and forth, or any step, you know, this nail to this nail, this to, no, any way you want. So you can go crazy, and you're just gonna be wrapping. And some you don't even have to completely wrap. You can just sort of loop and loop and loop and go wherever you want. See how it's kind of like coloring, but with string? So it just fills it in. One way that I like to do it, I end up doing it crisscross like this at the very end. But to start getting the fill, what I'll do is I'll start going like this, nice and neat, diagonally, kind of like if you're shading. I have a bunch behind me because I unraveled it. And then I'll just go like this all the way through the circle. And then after that is when I'll go back and do the same stuff. Usually I do it when it's not so unraveled, then it doesn't get caught as easy. Okay. Ooh, it's just not the right day today. Anyways, so you're just gonna keep going like this all the way through. until you get over to here. Then, now that you've gone one way, I'll just kind of turn and choose a different angle and start that same pattern, I guess, all the way through. And it is kind of fun for the sunflowers, for the center to be very neat, and then the outside petals just kind of be the crazy all over. It's kind of fun to do that because then you can see the two different styles, but I sort of end up doing a little bit of both. So you don't have to worry and think about it. It's okay if the nails catch. If for some reason you're super strong and you're pulling on these and a nail swords like a wiggly tooth, just grab any kind of hammer and just gently tap it in. Not crazy because you don't want it to go all the way to the bottom of the wood, but just to tap it in so it's secure. Because they are not glued. We want them to have enough space for the string to be able to fit. Okay, so now you're kind of getting this sort of thing. When it gets harder and harder, you can sort of use your fingers and push the netting down, and then it'll make it easier, especially because this is our first color. There's also going to be yellow string on here and black string on here. So whether you're doing the yellow first, push the yellow down, or if you're doing brown first like me, then push the brown down, and then you will thank yourself later when you're trying to fit the black border string and it won't want to stay on. This way, it'll be down touching the wood, and now you have space to put more brown string and then yellow and then black. Okay, so you're just gonna keep going, and then I'll do this, and then once you do another kind of netting, you can push this down later too. You can go up and down like this. This is the fun part where you don't stress about where it goes, because either way it's going to turn out beautiful. And we'll just change directions a little bit. Fill on this side a little more because I skipped it. And so you just keep going and going and going until it's filled in. And remember, you don't have to use all the string. If it looks really filled in, you can stop. I try and send you guys extra string just so you don't run out. So it's okay if you have leftover string. You don't have to fill it all the way in. It's not gonna be wrong. You know, when I do kits and stuff, if I have extra stuff, I worry that I did it wrong. Extra screws in projects. I was like, oh no. Like, no, that's normal. That's a good thing. And we're just gonna keep going back and forth and kind of push it down. See how this side is getting way thick? Because I'm forgetting about my other side. Okay. Let's go this way. And if you want to, you can also turn the sunflower and work on it this way. Whatever feels comfortable. Let's see now how I kind of just go a little wonky. So if you do go like me and go until your thing is empty, then that's fine. We're just gonna push this down, and then I'm gonna show you how you can secure it. If you haven't guessed already, it's exactly like the first step we did. So give yourself enough room. If you have to unwind it a little bit to do that, go ahead. Let's see if I can do it with this much string. I don't know. So you can loop it around, and then with your end, hold it tight with one hand, and then do your little loopy. Pick a nail, put your hand over it, Tie it tight and then make sure it's on the same nail. Do at least one more knot, if not two. Sometimes I'll do 3 to 4, just because, you know, it just seems right. Okay, and then with the extra bit like this, I go ahead and I trim it. And use your hand and just sort of tuck it in. Like that. Okay, let's see if I like it. Let's tuck it under on the other side. There. Okay, so that is the brown. And then from here, it's the same steps with the yellow. And for the yellow, I'll show you in a sec what I do. All right, so now that we have the brown done, let's go ahead and grab our yellow and pick any spot. Go ahead and grab your string, tie a knot. Okay, tie another one. And we can trim it a little bit for funsies. And for this one, I do it a little bit differently. I don't worry about all these inside ones as much yet. I'll just go ahead and go up to this and I'll do my outline. Sometimes not even the full outline that we did. I'll just do it in spots if it looks empty. But I just go up and down on the very outside and I don't worry about going all the way down, all the way up, all the way down. No, don't even worry. That's the black string. That'll make it pop later. So we can just go ahead and go down like this and like that. And keep going all the way around. My brain likes to not think. So we're just gonna go like this. And this just helps you know where to stay in the lines. So, you know, especially for, sometimes it's hard. If you don't pay attention, you'll accidentally cross over like this and fill in a whole section. And if that happens, you just unravel it and try it again. I definitely have done that a few times with some of these bigger signs when I'm not paying attention, or I'll do it like right here, one little piece one time, and then I'll have to unwind it a ton because it'll bug me too much. But that's okay. You can go like this. Just gives us the border. And once it's like this, you can either, because you can technically fill in each petal when you get to the middle part, you can fill in each petal at a time, but I kind of go crisscross all over the place to make sure that the petals are even. Because if you don't pay attention, sometimes you can spend so much time on one little section of a few petals, and then you'll run out of string at the end with the last few petals when they look way empty and these look way full. So I try and do at least a few passes, kind of filling in a bunch of them, and then I'll go back in and color in more after they all have like a base coat basically of the string. That's the best way to describe it. And part of what I love about the sunflowers is they're pointy, but they're not perfect. And so they're all just kind of fun shapes. Realistic. And we'll go like this. And look, we're almost back to our starting point. Yep, okay. All right, so now let me show you what I mean by filling it in. So it's the same sort of ideas. You can kind of go like this, but then I'll just do, I won't go crazy like this a ton of times. So I'll do that. I'll pull it farther so you can stretch it. Again, just pay attention that you're not going to crisscross into the wrong background area. Crisscross all the way down. You can do it like this way with the petals using these center ones. And see how it's stretching farther rather than up, 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 up. And so this will kind of fill it in evenly for you. And then you just make sure you keep moving for the first bit, and that'll help later on. You'll thank yourself. And the reason you'll have more than one of these is because when I'm wrapping the string, it doesn't always fit on the little bobbins. So you'll have a few bobbins worth so that you get enough string to go on your petals. Yeah, so it's not filled in. We'll get to it later. It's okay. Just gonna keep wrapping. Yeah, so you're just gonna keep doing this, and the same thing with this. Any direction, any way you want, and you can go like this, and then petals later. You can do that. If there is sometimes in between some nails, if it just is bugging you and looks really empty and you can't fill it, that's where that border with the crisscross back and forth, or what I like to do, is actually a figure 8. So here, I'll show you between two other nails. So between this one and this one, it's basically around and crisscross. So it's technically a figure 8, but I like to break it apart into 4 steps. Sometimes it's a little easier to explain that way. But if figure 8 sounds easier, then there you go. So we can go all the way across. And again, with this one too, just like the brown, you can push down a little bit. You don't need to push it all the way down necessarily, just because you only have the black coming back. You don't have the brown. But for these ones, yeah, you're gonna wanna push down in that center, especially when it's thicker. I'm not really ready to push it down yet, but I'm just gonna keep going around and around and around. And then if you run out of this bobbin, then you're just gonna tie the knots like you did at the end, and then you'll get your other yellow and you'll go ahead and keep going. You just start a knot wherever you left off. Make sure it's tied a couple times so it doesn't come loose. And then from there, you just keep on going. So you can always do more yellow than this. I decided to stop for this one, but if you have extra, go ahead and do more. For the black outline, let's go ahead and do that. Grab your black, do your little knot, pick anywhere you want. Let's just start over here, I guess. All right. And then tie a double knot. Oh no, my scissors are gone. They walked off. Okay, so you can go ahead and trim this later or now. My scissors seem to have walked off, so we're just gonna go with it. Anyways, so you're gonna go ahead and start. I'll do just this section, but these steps you're gonna repeat for all of them. You start by just wrapping around, trying to just outline the petals and make it pop. And then when you get to these parts, you're just gonna go down. For here, you go all the way down to the brown. You're just gonna be tracing a pathway. So from there, you can go, again, any direction, just like in here, but just make sure you follow the outline. So you can go petal by petal, you can go all the way around the center first and do all that. It is up to you. Let's just go swing around for this whole thing, just to show you the basic steps that you're gonna do for the entire sunflower. So you just keep going like this. And then what you can do to go back up, remember in the beginning, I was showing you the crisscross. So we're just gonna start. And again, you're just gonna pick a line and follow it. You can wrap every now and then. And when you're doing the whole thing, you know, obviously the rest of the petals. But it's faster and easier just to show you this way. So you're just gonna keep going, following the lines. And then you will have to backtrack sometimes just because of the way. So like right here, and you can do it in any order. So now I'm doing the crisscross for funsies. And then, you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and finish this little line. So you can do it that way. Another way you can do it, okay, sorry, I got ahead of myself. So do the crisscross like that, and then we're gonna go back the other direction, which is what I did right here. I don't know if I went too fast. So this is just making a thicker, solid line. And if you miss one little line on one of them, it's not the end of the world. No one's gonna be this close analyzing, oh no, that one's slightly different. They're not gonna know. So then I'm going back down here, finishing my X, and then we're gonna go back up like this and wrap this way. So it ends up being 4 on each set of nails that you've gone across. And it just starts outlining your petals and it looks so beautiful. So you can continue, you can do the crisscross first if you want, whatever you feel like. So you can see here I'm switching it up and just doing the crisscross because I can. We're gonna go down this way. Heck, let's go down. And then you're just gonna, the petal can go either way. So it can either go to this one, or if you want the petal to go that way, both work. You get to choose and just make it happen. And again, if you watched the beginning of the video, hopefully you push down the brown and hopefully you push down the yellow. It'll make adding this black a lot easier because since there's so much string on it, it gets harder and harder to do. So you're just gonna be doing this. And this part is kind of fun. Reminds me of binding, if you've ever bind a quilt. This is what it reminds me of. My mom hates that step. Don't tell her I said that. But we're just gonna keep going. That's why I'm only gonna show you a few petals. You probably don't wanna watch me do the entire thing. Okay, so for this one, you can crisscross this way to get the other petal going. And if you want, you just go up to here and backtrack and then wrap around and wrap back. And so since that line is done, you can go back up to finish that last little blip of section like this. We'll do this little bit. And it's okay. What I've found usually when I'm doing these, if I do, like right here, I've done 3. 1, 2, 3 for the X and the other side. And then I'll do these 3 for the entire sunflower. And these middle parts will be completely done. And then in a final last step, I usually will go foomp, 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 all the way around for that last little blip. So again, they're not gonna know if you've done it perfectly. Technically, even this way, they're not gonna know. So try not to stress about it. Remember, this is supposed to be fun. And it's supposed to be a bigger project. It's a large sign if you're doing this one. So make sure you take breaks. Don't get frustrated. If you're getting frustrated, it means set it down and walk away. I have done that many a time with some of my signs when they're new designs where I can't quite figure out how I want to do it. So I have to go and take a snack break and then I come back and I'm like, oh, that's how. Let's see right here. You can kind of wrap it. If it feels like it's not going to stick, then you can wrap all the way around. And for some of them, if you end up having to crisscross back and do, like here, let me see if I can show you an example. So if you're here and you're coming back this way and you're like, oh no, I'm stuck, because once you get to this and you're like, oh shoot, I need to finish this, but this is all done. It's okay to go back a 5th time. No one's gonna know. They really won't. Mama. Now that you've gone all the way around, look how pretty. Now I'm gonna go do the very last thing that I was telling you about. Let me see if I can show you a little bit better. Along all of a good chunk of my border at least, I ended up having this last little blip. So I'm just gonna go like this, wrap around, hold on to it, especially now when you're almost done. It's like, don't unravel. I'm gonna jinx it. Keep going, been rotating it. And then it's almost done. It's so fun. Just keep spinning, spinning, spinning until just swimming. Okay. And then again, just like for the brown and the yellow, once you get past all of this, you're going to make sure to tie a double knot so that all of this beautiful work stays where it belongs. And then you're ready to hang it on your wall. Almost there, I think. Did we do it? Nope, there's still some over here. So this one is gonna have double, triple, because I think that was the ones that I was showing you in the example. But guess what? It's okay. All right, so we got this little, and then flipped to the outside section. Hey, and look, this is where we started with the knot. All right, so go ahead and heck, we'll do it on the same one. If you have extra string, that's okay. Just go ahead and cut and then tie a knot. And I just realized that I tied the knot without you. Sorry. So you're gonna go ahead and tie your double knot, trim your ends, and just go ahead and tuck them into the design. You can trim them a little shorter too. Just like that. And there we go.